howdy. The Rockford IceHogs are heading into the home stretch with just 3 regular season games left, and 2 of them are in Rockford at the BMO Center. Wednesday night, the Hogs take on the Grand Rapids Griffins, one of the top teams in the Central Division, with both squads having already clinched a playoff spot, but there's still playoff seeding on the line. Drew Comesso is at goal as the IceHogs get after it at home. To get this one started, the Hogs regroup with Zach Sanford feeding Kevin Fitzgerald, working his way down the ice, making a nice pass to Sanford, who takes a shot and whiffs it at the start of the first. Now Sanford and Joey Anderson are trying to regain control of the puck on offense. Anderson passes it to Jackson Cates with an open look, but Grand Rapids is there yet again to shut the Hogs down. It's only 7 minutes into the first. William Wallander takes a quick snipe that Comesso blocks. Dominic Stein tries to poke it through, but is unable to. Now nearing the 10-minute mark of the first, Andrej Becker gets a nice look and is too fast getting this one past Comesso. Grand Rapids takes this one 2-1, and Rockford hosts them again on Friday.